Hey guys, it's Jaden and welcome back. Today we're talking about The Expanse Season 5, Episode 6. This is easily an interesting no recap, react, review. So if you haven't seen the episode, you should totally check it out because I'm talking about the episode as a whole because that's just important. So, it felt like another stopgap and I was wrong about some things, but right about some other things. I guess we'll just start with Marco, right? We'll just start with Marco because this man is a tyrant. This man is a warlord. When Drummer got on the ship, it was very apparent that, if she did not, agree to it, she was going to die. Like, her and her crew were going to die. Now, I'll be honest, I really couldn't hear whatever the heck that two people on her crew were saying. Really wasn't understanding. I think they were trying to say, don't let her kill Marco. But I wasn't about to rewind. So, we have to keep on trucking, so obviously this is probably like a really hard thing for Drummer, but I also think that she had to realize after that person in her crew gave a really rousing rendition of, yeah, you thought this was a choice? You thought you had a choice in this? I don't think so. And honestly, I think he was wrong on the fact of saying that, what if Marco lets them go? Marco was not going to let you go. Marco was going to shoot you out the sky right there and call it a day. It is a join or die initiative with Marco. That's it. But I do think something interesting is happening, what I believe I've called before about Philip really getting to know his mother. Because I really do think that Marco twisted Philip's mind a little bit on who his mother is and what she stands for, right? And I think he's starting to see signs of his father. He's probably always seen and he's always tried to really relegate away from and deal with, and he's learned how to manage. But now he's starting to realize some of that shit is wrong. Some of his bullshit is literally bullshit. So I like the fact of Sin, I finally got his name right. I like the fact of Sin essentially standing up for him, being no, you want to put your dirty work on us. If you have a problem with Naomi, you take her out. But you're not about to get mad at us over this. Yeah, we probably did not need to give her the calm, but you trying to ask your son to kill his mother. You're trying to ask your chief engineer, right? Your only real chief engineer, right? Who's not even as talented as Naomi, to essentially kill one of his longest confidants and friends. And I think it's interesting to look at this idea of family that they have within the belt, because at the same time, I understand where Drummer's coming from with her faction, her family. I kind of get where Marco's coming from with his fake love towards his son, all the people on the Peloton, the Plata, the Piata, whatever the shit with the P is. I get that, but I also kind of understand why they kind of don't like that Naomi kind of just up and left. But at the same time, again, it's just so many different conflicting values coming in from left and from right. Because Naomi at the end of the day left in order because she left Marco and all that crap because they forced her to do something she didn't want to do. They forced her into blowing up a ship, right? And at that point in time, she knew that she wasn't going to be able to escape with her life if she had to go and get her son. She let her son go. Was that a bad thing? Yes. And I think that the show does a good job of realizing, yeah, she did a bad thing there. However, I do think that she's really trying to redeem herself, right? She's really trying to get that redemption arc for herself with her son. And I really was hoping that Drummer was going to basically save for this episode, but this episode seems to be more of a stopgap also, right? Eventually, moving towards Alex and Bobby, I was listening to a podcast, and I've not read the books, right? And one of their theories was essentially that Alex is going to die. And you know what? The more they say that, the more it made sense to me. And I took that to heart. Because now that I think that Alex is going to die, because they really have been setting this man up, give him the Martian way home, basically. Give him a good story. Give him a good hero story. Now that they've essentially set him up for this inevitable fall, because I think he's gonna die, right? I'm now just wondering when it's gonna happen. Because there's been so many different instances where it seems like his story just isn't going anywhere. And I think I kind of said that earlier, is like, I don't really get what the point of his story is. I think it was interesting seeing him reunite back with his son somewhat, reunite back with his ex-wife. I think it was also seeing him on Mars was cool and all, but like, that's not his home and that's not who he is. And I don't think like he right now has a point or a plot in this story. Obviously, I think he's gonna go out in a hero's whatever, but at the same time, like, I'm just thinking like, yeah, I don't know how you're gonna die, but it's sad, but it's gonna happen, and I don't know. Really do like seeing Bobby back in her mech. That was awesome. I really thought Alex was gonna die this episode though. Really did. Moving on to Holden. Holden really just got his ship in order, about to leave. You know, gonna go track the Miata. I know that's not the name. I don't really care. They have the weirdest name for shit, and I didn't write things down to this today, so like, the Miata. They want that Proto Marco back because we can't let Marco get that. That's a terrorist. That's a threat right there. I really do want to know what Sakai's face though was when she realized that Holden didn't die, or the fact that Tycho Station wasn't destroyed. And something that was said today was that Marco is willing to let you die for him before anything else. And I was just like, you know what? That's literally the truth. Every single person is willing to sacrifice their life for Marco because he's roused them up into this mission. It kind of reminds me of this thing that I did not cover on my Star Trek Discovery episode, but it was just really interesting, about how Osira in Discovery was not willing to give up herself in order for actual peace, right? At the end of the day, she still wanted to roam free and do what she wanted, but she didn't want to reconcile with her own crimes or anything like that. It's just really selfish, and she's kind of a dictator, but so was Marco. Looking at Amos, I told you they were going to Baltimore. Are they going to Baltimore still? They probably are. I think Amos is right for being very distrustful of every single person, because like, you can't trust anybody in this instance. You couldn't trust anybody before because they didn't have no money, but now they ain't got no world, and basically everything is kind of reset. Yeah. Also, it was nice to see Peaches, I cannot remember her real name, Clarissa, get her little implant back. And I don't know if the meds are wearing off or if it's broken. I don't know. I don't really remember. I believe it was broken. And it was like messing with her. So they kind of had, I guess they had to subdue her or whatever like that. I don't know. So there was this existential conversation between Clarissa and Amos, which I thought was very important. And I thought it was just interesting because it's just the idea of like, if someone is not in your life, do they really exist? And I think they mean that obviously in a figurative and a metaphorical way, because it's like the truth. It's like, if I never knew this person really does not exist in my life. If they came up randomly, I wouldn't know. It's very, I don't know this man. Very Keke Palmer, I don't know this man. I could see him. He could be walking down the street, I wouldn't know this man. So that's just interesting in itself. But obviously, Amos really cares for Clarissa, and we'll see where they're going. But this just seemed more of like a stopgap, rising action, slow start, like a reset to the season, before we get to like our finale conclusion, right? I think the next episode, 7, 8, 9, 10, those last are gonna really ramp up a little bit, because I really thought we were gonna get more Avasarala this episode. Then to find out that she wasn't even next in line. It was some minister of agriculture. And he had the gall to be like, I want you on my council. Nah, just give up your power. All the rules went out the window. Just give up your power. Just give it to Avasarala. She knows what she needs to do, right? But at the same time, like for her, it was just so sad watching her, because it's like, Arjun's dead. I don't think Arjun's dead. Or maybe they're trying to like save it out for like the last fake out or like that he's not dead, but like, I think Arjun's dead. Why wouldn't he contact her? And it's kind of sad because for her, it's like she was mad, like they were mad at, well, he was mad at her more than anything else. And it's just sad because that was like their last conversation before she went to Luna. And I loved seeing her like pull herself back together. I think Krishna Avasarala is like the best character on this show. I think that she doesn't have to do all the tips and tricks and little flippy dips. She just has to like be there, give a rousing speech, and be the badass that she is. That's just it. And that's just something I really, really do like. Going forward, what do I see this episode really going? I don't really know. I think Carol or whoever they traded with drummer faction, she's dying. Sorry, but she's got to go. I feel like she's on the thing to act as a spy and act, well, obviously for good faith, but like I think she's gonna die. Drummer's not going to take it, you know, and I think that that's when the rising action is probably going to begin, and I think that's when, like, slightly, maybe the Free Navy dissipates from itself. But I don't know, I haven't read the book, so it doesn't make any sense for the Free Navy, though, to, like, implode on itself when we have all of season 6, right? So, but at the same time, like, what does the end of this season look like? There has to be, like, a conclusion. You know, this is not Game of Thrones. Like, this is The Expanse. We have cliffhanger after cliffhanger after cliffhanger pretty much at this point. So I don't really know where that ending conclusion is going to be, except I really do believe that Alex is going to die now. I do think that James is going to get that proto-molecule back. I do think that Naomi is going to get off that ship with Philip, and there's going to be a redemption arc with him, and probably think like Sin sacrificing himself for Philip in place of Marco trying to kill Philip. I don't know. I just kind of see that happening. It just seems very Shakespearean to me. Like, of course, the caretaker protects the begotten son who has finally found, you know, his way back to like goodness and realizing, you know, the misdeeds that his father has caused him. I think that Amos going back to Baltimore, now I think about this, I think Amos going back to Baltimore is going to cause some problems. I think it's going to run into a bunch of trouble, and with, you know, Peaches is not up to full strength, I think it's going to be even harder. Granted, today's episode of them basically taking that man out, I was like, okay, all right, I guess. I don't know. I don't know what I have to say about that. I just really was like, okay. This just felt like a very run-of-the-mill episode, to be completely honest. It wasn't like, woo! It wasn't like, oh. It was like, we are setting things up for the future. And that's just pretty much it. Again, I do want to see more on Mars. Just going to say that. I would love to see whatever exploded on Mars. Are they going to, you know, tell everybody that Fred Johnson is dead and that Marco Inaros killed him? Like, that would be nice. Or that's probably going to lead them all to join the Free Navy, so it's probably not the best book. Also, where is the Peloton in the galaxy? I don't know how Holden may or may not find the Peloton, but like the Pelota, but you know, anyway. Don't get me on these damn peas. You know, we live in a paradama, so it's all good. Anyway, that's pretty much my thought on the episode. If you have any other comments, questions, anything you want to talk about, I really want to talk to y'all about it in the comments. Just leave a comment below. Let's talk about it, please. Let's go. Anyway, I'm gonna go. I'm craving a Cinnabon. Bye.